I want my damn respect. Where is it, Atlus? Hello, humans, and welcome to Atlus Mega 10 Mondays. It's that time again when we discuss all things Atlus and all things Shin Megami Tensei and everything else in between in the Atlus universe. So sit back, relax, and let's see what we're going to talk about today in the Atlus Mega 10 universe. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised. On today's episode, hello humans and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer Atlus Mega 10 Mondays. And today I want to talk about something that's been bothering me now for a long time. It has to do with Atlus and the respect or lack of respect that the Western market feels. And it's very justified. Now, let me start by saying that a lot of this is cultural. You know, for the longest time, and you're seeing the after effects of the Japanese thinking that JRPGs were not maybe good for the American market, that were not a great seller, and they weren't at first. But now I think it's gone beyond that. I think many companies understand that. I mean, you're just leaving money on the table by not releasing games in America, but this is typical of a lot of Japanese companies. They have a lot of properties that we would like to see that are not getting released here, and that's just mind-boggling, you know. And a perfect example here is Persona 5 Scramble. You know, I mean, why don't we have this game, right? This is a game everybody wants. You know, any Persona fan wants this game. It's the actual sequel to Persona 5. What are you going to say? What is the excuse? Production costs with translation? I mean, all you need is either work, voiceover work. And say, okay, well, that could be challenging, you know, finding voice actors, but not subtitles, which is many of the times that when a lot of games are produced, that's all we get is subtitles. What's the excuse for not doing that? There's a ton of bilingual Japanese people, you know, English to Japanese specifically, and all you need to hire is, you know, an editor, you know, to proofread the material, and you can do this as you're producing the game. You know, it's not like you would have to do it afterwards and go through a long process. It's just poor planning is what it is, and it's just terrible. You know, it's just terrible planning, and they're really leaving a lot on the table. And the other thing is that, you know, a lot of the people that would buy the game eventually, like myself, what are we going to do? I mean, do we buy the Japanese version and play that way? A lot of the enthusiasm for the game is you know, it's just dulled by that, because you're like, why didn't we get this earlier? You know, so many other things, you know, special editions, merchandising. It's just, again, it's just so frustrating because the demand for the game is here, right? And the same thing is going to happen with Shin Megami Tensei 5. Why does it have to be delayed? It shouldn't have to be delayed. I mean, it's not like we're talking about very complicated scripts here that we're talking about. You know, whether it's, you know, the voiceover work shouldn't be that difficult. I mean, it's not like they haven't done it before. Especially having Sega on board, do you think this would be a much smoother process? I think in the future, with the influence of Sega, maybe this is not going to be the case. But, you know, it sure is frustrating, and in a lot of levels, you just feel like, you know, the Western markets are an afterthought, like a cherry on top or something like that, and nothing could be further from the truth. If these companies want to make some solid dollars, they have to, you know, broaden their customer base. And, you know, Western markets be some of the biggest. You know, I know things are going to change, you know, everything going digital. But if anything, that might dull, for example, physical media and stuff like that. But it should broaden your markets, because now you're able to deliver the product faster to more people. Again, with better planning. But this is not a frustration that is new. It's happened through the years. Many of us that love JRPGs have lived with it for years. Not only with Atlus, with many other Japanese companies. But if you would have told me, 10 years ago, we would still be having to deal with these issues. Back in my day, we would have to read about these games on magazines, things that were being released in Japan. We could only see pictures, and at that point we understood that there was a certain process, that these games would have to go through in order to be translated. The technology was just not there. But now, with people being able to work remotely, with subcontracting, with so many advantages we have today, it really is unexcusable for these companies to be producing content and games like they used to back in 2002. It's just mind-blowing, some of the financial decisions that they're making with regards to these games. And for me in particular, I just find it frustrating. Not only because I want the games, to play them and own them and all this stuff, but more than anything, just the frustration of feeling that these companies are just not trying. Why not really scramble now? What excuse do you have? We're supposed to have this game a while back ago, and I'm being kind. I think it's a total letdown. If there's any criticism that I have on Atlus, it's not actually on their games and what have you. It's this business model that they're following that just makes it very difficult for a lot of us to get a hold of new games, to get a hold of product. Releasing games, for example, that they could release on mobile. They have so many dead properties that are not available or not even reachable in physical form anymore. Then why not put it on Steam? They tested the waters now with Persona 4. They saw what happened. And that's going to be the future, that digital delivery. But they really need to speed this up, especially with their major franchises, or else, the company's going to be in even more trouble, which is unbelievable for a company that created so many great games that they eventually got bought by Sega. If you look at their financials, they're really not impressive. You wouldn't think that a company that produced this quality of games would have those kind of books. But it's these kind of things, these kind of bad decisions that eventually led them there. Anyway, guys, I just wanted to blow off some steam, some frustration, because I was looking at Persona 5 Scramble again, and I was just thinking, man, why don't we have this game? What the hell happened? Oh, man. Well, maybe soon. Alright, humans, thank you for joining me. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and never miss out on another Atlus Mega 10 Monday. Take care.
Thank you for joining me on another episode of the Gen X Gamer. Remember to like and subscribe, click the notification bell, and remember, never be afraid to be happy. We'll catch you on the next one. Take care.